Hi you and welcome back to The Bridge. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in and sticking around. I hope you're well. Today is a video that I've been thinking about shooting for a really long time. Let's talk about what I wish I knew when I was doing the Bachelor of Law degree that would have helped me a lot. First things first is I wish I would have known to start applying for articles in third year. And when I started the law degree, the reason why I didn't do it is because I didn't even know what articles were, right? When I started the LLB degree, I just kind of walked in like, oh, you do law, but I wasn't thinking long term. But the truth is you have to start thinking about what happens after 5 years. You don't have to know the path exactly what you're going to do, but just kind of have an idea of what's meant to happen or the most common way. So majority of people do articles after completing their 4-year degree. What articles is, it's basically like something that you have to do in order to become an attorney, right? So that's why they call it articles, because you're basically a candidate legal practitioner or you're a candidate attorney before you become an attorney. I just thought, oh, okay, I'm just gonna leave all that until I'm in 4th year. And then after I completed the degree in 2025 last year, I go for a job interview and I meet 3rd-year students at this job interview. And that's when I realized, oh, so what some firms do, especially the bigger firms, is that they open their article applications for 3rd-year students upwards. Which means if you're in 3rd year LLB right now, which is in 2026, there are applications for 2028 articles that are already open. You need to already start being on the lookout for article, especially for corporate. It's mostly for the bigger corporate companies. Second thing I wish I would have known as an LLB student is to do my best to apply for vac work or vacation work. And what vacation work basically is you get to spend a period of time, whether it be a week or two, at a firm. I've never done vacation work, which is exactly why I'm making this video, because I can't really say anything that happens there. But I know that you get practical hands-on experience on what happens at a law firm, just to get an idea of how things work and operate there. And so this can be a really good thing, because even if you don't desire to go into corporate, what it can do is just help you to make a more informed decision about whether or not you want to go into corporate, right? So even if you're not interested in corporate, do vacation work, see how things operate there, and then you can say, actually, I don't really think this is for me, or wow, I was wrong. I really do enjoy it. But a more important reason to do vacation work is because it's really advantageous on your CV. So companies look at that and they go, oh my goodness, they did vacation work. And the company or the firm at which you did vacation work is more likely, I'm not going to say it's a given, but they're far more likely to consider you as a strong candidate because you did vacation work at the firm and you have some idea of how that firm operates, right? I know that applications for vacation work will specify which year they're willing to take, but it usually, I'm not sure 1st years, but I know 2nd years is definitely, 2nd, 3rd, 4th year, definitely they're already opening vacation work for those years as well. So talking about practical experience, I would say the 3rd thing that I actually did do that I know right now is compulsory for most people who do study law. And when I mean study law, I mean LLB, BCom law, BA law, yeah, so all those things, if it's got law inside you. Practical legal training. So at the university that I was at, it was voluntary, it was optional, but it recently became compulsory. And I know for a majority of universities in South Africa, practical legal training is compulsory now. If you don't know what practical legal training is, it's basically, how is it, like a module that you do in final year typically, where you basically get to go to like a law clinic, right? Usually universities will have like a legal practice side to them, and you work under an attorney to help with clients, do legal research, do consultations, help to draft certain documents. Obviously, they check everything before you send it out, but it basically gives you the opportunity to do real hands-on practical work on cases, and it kind of gives you a view into what you'll be doing in the future and what the legal profession is actually about, but in a safe training environment. So if it is still an option at your university, then I would 100% recommend that you take it. So the next thing that I wish I would have done, or that I realized late, is especially in your fourth year, third or fourth year, before you graduate, ask those lecturers for a testimonial or a recommendation letter. And the reason why that is because when you apply for jobs, certain jobs actually require you or ask from you a recommendation letter or a testimonial. So how you get a testimonial or reference letter is just to ask, like send an email to a lecturer, maybe you're in fourth year, and ask, hi, so I'm applying for a job, for this job, or I'm just generally applying for jobs, and I was wondering if you could please write a testimonial letter or reference letter for me. They will usually then ask for your CV, so make sure that you have a CV on hand, and then you can send it to them, and then they will draft one for you. So have at minimum two, like have at least two testimonials or reference letter from two different people. But yeah, it's just always before you leave the university. I think it's also possible, like when you do have the job interview and then you send, hi, I was your student, remember me, well, I'm looking for a job now, and is it possible if you can please write a testimonial or reference letter for me? So it's just easier to ask while you're still a student, so that they know who you are and that they can remember you. They don't have to go through like memory files to go like, who was that again? But yeah, while you're still at varsity, while you're still in third or fourth year, you have the opportunity right now to ask them. So ask, and then done. So the next thing that helped me, sharpen a skill, right? Sharpen a skill. So besides studying, right? Besides giving your all to studying, have a skill that you are sharpening on the other side that is going to be beneficial or advantageous, or that is going to add on to your CV. Because what that does is when you walk into a job interview, you're not just walking in with an LLB qualification, but you're saying, I have an LLB qualification, and during university I was working on that skill. And it can really be, you guys, like any skill, but I think the most beneficial skills are skills that will assist in the legal practice, even if it isn't sharpening a skill, but being involved in organizations that have something to do with what you're studying. So for example, if you're doing medicine, right, and you're involved in a medical club or a volunteering organization that goes and volunteers in like different communities, or for example, you're studying drama or art and you're active at the local theater, or you're studying music and you're active in the music club or in the jazz band, or I don't know how these things work. But if you're a law student, right, you're studying LLB or become LLB or BA LLB, and you are involved in a human rights organization or in an NGO, guys, those things really can help. So if you have the opportunity and you have the chance, do something else on the side. It doesn't have to be anything big, it doesn't have to be anything expensive. And those organizations can also help you to network and to meet people and to meet professionals. The last thing that I want to say is what I wish I would have done as at LLB. I was trying, but I didn't manage to be successful while I was studying. Get your driver's license. Get your driver's license. And the reason why I say this is because when you apply to quite a few firms, one of the things that they're looking for is someone who has their driver's license. As a candidate attorney, there may be times where you have to go to court. So you have to drive to court to go submit certain documents and then drive back, or you have to go drive to meet a client or to deliver something. So, you know, those things, so a driver's license is something that's, you know, would really help. Honestly, I would say if you can start working on a driver's license from high school, then you are in a very good position, right? Get your driver's license. I know some firms do want you to have your own vehicle as well, but honestly, that's not accessible to everyone. So just make sure that you have your driver's license. Some firms have their own, or some companies have their own like company vehicles that you can use. If you don't have a driver's license, there are still firms that you can apply to that don't require you to have a driver's license. And those are usually, from my experience, my observations, those are usually the really big corporate firms based in like Sandton or Cape Town CBD that won't be like needing you to like go to court, or like maybe it's down the street from court, but they're like highly corporate, so you don't have to be like at court the whole day or anything like that. So even if you don't have a driver's license, worry not, fear not, work on it and still apply to firms. Anyways, if you've completed LLB and you're in practice already, please write down in the comments down below what you wish you would have done differently while studying in university that you now would have helped you. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Proof check everything that I say, and I hope you have an amazing week. Enjoy your studying. See you next week.